A special good morning to all of you. Welcome to Prime Morning, and it's still News Flash discussion segment. And my name is Razak Musbah. And still with me is Professor Ayamga. He is the Deputy CEO of EPA and also former MP for Anyasotuom and a key member, senior member of the Bryan Acheampong camp, Dr. Adumako Kisi. Doc, good morning.
Good morning, Musbah.
Yeah. I hope all is well. It's been a...
please, I'm an ordinary grassroots member.
You can't be an ordinary grassroots member. You can't be an ordinary grassroots member.
Ordinary grassroots.
Prof, good morning. Good to have you.
Ms. Bao, good to be here.
Yeah.
And good morning to your viewers across the globe. Yeah.
Wonderful. We have so much to talk about today. Of course, big on the agenda is the NPP race. Then there is the Acheampong, but there is also a troubling development in the north with the Binyuri clashes, where we understand a number of people have been displaced, with many women and children finding refuge at police stations. Government has declared a curfew in the area, and that was enforced yesterday. We'll have some quick talk on that, and all of us, of course, are going to make a call for peace, because we understand some 9 people and 9 people have lost their lives, and 29 others have been injured in that clash, and we just hope that things can return to normal for everybody to go about their business. But we're going to go through the newspapers, and after that, we'll get into all of those issues. I have with me the Daily Democrat, and on the front page is, "You can't trade in dollars." That's the Bank of Ghana warning there, released a statement yesterday with that. They say you cannot charge fees in dollars, you cannot charge air tickets in dollars, you just cannot trade in dollars. And some have had some interesting analysis relating to that. They say it's because the dollar, the CD is now depreciating against the dollar. So the Bank of Ghana has introduced a lot of controls to try and contain it. So we'll see how that will work out. But also, Education Ministry assures transparency in BEC placement. That was at the press conference yesterday that GES held, where they also, this is the Daily Democrat. And so that's the GES yesterday when they held a press conference on the placement there. But they also made an interesting comment relating to the double track, where the GES emphasized that they will not be able to cancel the double track in the meantime, to take some time before the double track can be cancelled. So they will just have to manage it for the meantime. Then also we have Dr. Kevo champions Ghana as digital trade hub. That NPA trains tanker drivers on downstream compliance, and Gold Board rewards licensed miners. And that's a very interesting story, because Gold Board is now giving, buying gold at a higher price than what is being sold in the markets, all in an attempt to try and get more of the miners selling their gold to the Gold Board. We understand something in the region of 830 Ghana cedis has been added to the price of gold on the world market. So the gold traders in Ghana appear excited about that move. We'll see how that will work out in the long run. But Prof, you've got the daily graphic, right?
Yes, I do. I do. Of course, the front page is the big news. You can't miss the president. And of course, good morning to our leader and President of the Republic of Ghana for the transformational leadership we are seeing. Then he's setting the example as he said, I will not contest the 2028 elections, and his focus will be on fiscal discipline, which he has led from day one since he took over office. And this is a call and maybe a reminder to everyone in government, including my own self, that there will be no election year overrun. So if we want to make a case for the elections in 2028, it starts from today. It's a reminder that the modesty that he has championed, the discipline, and the continuous reminder that we are stewards of the public purse is something he's reinforcing. So if there was anyone in government who thinks that, okay, this is just a show, within a few days things will fade off, he's reminding us that even in 2028, he's not going to break the bank because of elections. And he's just, of course, characteristic of the president, he has a way of infusing humor into very serious things, telling, okay, I I will not be contesting, so I won't break the bank. That is in no way to suggest that he is ready to do away with the NDC as far as...
So now he's confirmed. He's not going to contest.
He's firm that...
Some wonder why he even had to say it, because the Constitution does not even allow him to contest. So you wonder why the president had to reaffirm that I will not contest in 2028.
No, it's because of the machinations of the New Patriotic Party. I was telling somebody that I would rather have a good night's sleep, wake up at maybe 5:30 or so, and then get to work. But you see, I have to wake up consistently. I'm always in the media because 2016 taught us a lesson that whilst the NDC was all over the country building the infrastructure, developing this country, we left two things out, the media and the lecture rooms for just Bawumia. And they turned that into something else. It shows us that leaving the NPP and the media is like leaving your underage child with a pedophile. And that is something we don't want to do. So as uncomfortable as it is, we still have to mix the responsibility of day-to-day governance with countering some of the misinformation, disinformation, and false packages that the NPP will present. So that's what we are doing. Right, and the president is saying this because he wants to nip that false narrative in the bud. We saw it playing out in the by-election, and then we've seen it coming up again in the Kwetia by-election, the narrative that the NDC wants numbers in parliament to change the constitution for President John Mahama to run. So this should put it to rest. Unless they have an agenda to push and then they are trying to flag this false narrative, it is a done deal. If anybody was even watching the posturing of the National Democratic Congress, you will know that President Mahama, a Democrat all his life, is not going nowhere.
Interesting. Just a few other ones. I think you still got the SHS policeman story there. We've treated that. And there is the NPP flag bearer race headline there, right?
Yes. The most unfair demand on my time now, to be honest with you, is asking me to discuss the New Patriotic Party as an alternative to government in the near future and even in the long, medium to long term.
All right, fair enough. Just highlight the headline. Okay, just highlight the headline. What the headline?
I'll do that for you.
Kennedy Acheampong, Bryan Acheampong submit nomination forms. And I'm asking, if this party was a serious party, they wouldn't even put themselves out for a unit committee election, let alone for a presidential election. Let's be honest. Let's just be honest.
We'll get into it. We'll get more into it.
Okay.
So let's say
and then there's the school placement program. Another innovation is something that tried to bring about some fair balance in the placement of children. This system too was also destroyed completely. So we are hoping to reset this one where the size of your packet and the connections of your family doesn't determine the schools you get to go, but your performance. And so these are very important headlines. And good morning to my good colleague. He's becoming a very close brother, following me wherever I go.
Doc, you have the overseer, right?
Yes, this has 10 million youth to join labor force by 2040. There's a finance minister related. And then we have ADB presenting a cash prize to the 2024 National Best Farmer. The amount was 1 million Ghana cedis, though delayed. And then the Berkum West MP commissions a modern office to help serve the people. And then we also have MPP will win 2028 under my leadership, Dr. Bryan Acheampong declares.
All right, so that's the overseer. I think it's still, when you look at the Daily Guide newspaper, it's still same story. Mohammed rules out third term, and Gold Board rules license minus with 832 Ghana cedis bonus, and BOG bans dollar pricing for services. That is also featured in the Daily Guide. And even in the Chronicle, again, Gold Board introduces bonanza for license minus, and you have Bawumia will win if primary were held today, says Fred Owari. And Ghanaian Times also still about the gold board and John Mahama's point there. But there's an interesting story also on the National Enquirer, which has the picture of the health minister. It says government slashes 50% off teaching fees of nursing trainees. 50% off teaching fees of nursing trainees. That's an interesting story there. I'm not sure if this is related to the teaching, free, first year tuition free exercise, because we were told that it will capture all tertiary institutions, of which the nursing and teacher training institutions were a part. And now it's 50%. So hopefully we can get more details about that. But yesterday, and even in the course of the week, one of the things that have also been in the headlines is the clashes in Benuri, Savannah region, where we understand 29 people have lost their lives. We understand as of now, even the number has increased, and 9 people, beg your pardon, have lost their lives, and 29 others have been injured. But hundreds of people have been displaced, with many of them fleeing what used to be their homes and what used to be their community to neighboring towns, trying to find refuge there. We understand a number of them have also moved to police stations in the area. That's where they are camping and spending their night at. The IGP visited the Benuri district early in the week, I think it was on Monday, where he assured them he will bring extra police personnel. 300 of them were sent to the area, but according to our reporter, the clashes are still simmering, and quite a number of people are still there with clashes happening in some rural areas. It's a very unfortunate development now, because of particular concern to me, Doc, are the women and children who have been caught up in this, and they have to spend the night at police stations for fear of their lives. This is a very unfortunate development. Now there is a curfew, and we are hoping that the curfew will work to bring some normalcy.
Well, in other stories, Ghana's security index or peace index has dropped under the leadership of the NDC. I think it's disturbing and needs to be attended to as quickly as possible. Any type of conflict, as we are seeing, especially the other things associated, rape, very troubling, loss of time from school. Already there are challenges there in your ability to get to school. And to have these things happening, it disrupts the community. Ordinary businesses are disrupted. And sometimes people are unable to recover from this. I
understand it's a dispute over a land, a piece of land.
I mean, listen, these are some of the challenges we have as a country, because government doesn't own all the lands in this country. And it is one of the unfortunate things. In many places, the government owns the land. There's no Queen of England's land and things like that. But be it as it may, I think that this has to be carefully and quickly attended to. And I would use this opportunity to encourage the NDC administration to deal with this, and also the known conflict of Boko, because it's getting out of hand. And once our security index has been rated lower, something has to be done. And security of a nation is also tied to your foreign investment. If your foreigners think that you're not safe in your country, they won't be encouraged to come and invest. And then it also implies that you may have a disruption of services in your country. So we should take this as a very concerning issue. More importantly, when our index has dropped,
Yeah.
I think and hope that the security services, and may I add, if it was an insurance company for Ghana's government, just the airline incident we had would really impact us in terms of the insurance that we'll be paying as a nation. So when an army aircraft has crashed, it also has adverse impact on how they, assess our country in terms of our safety and things like that. And it's even unearthing more and showing how frail our military is. And these are all going to impact the indices that are being done. So this will be a call to the judiciary because they have a role to play in making sure that the judgment on these land matters are fair and just. If one side feels cheated, this will go on regardless of what the law court may prescribe. So, and the police should be there to enforce whatever the judiciary says. If there should be a stay on this issue, maybe that's what they should do. Put a stay on it for another decade.
Yeah.
5 years. Something has to be done. And if we had our way, these are the reasons why government may then decide. This is me just being a bit strategic. The government through the military can then purchase the land, from the two tribes, and then it becomes a government-owned land. And in that case, where would be the rivalry?
Yeah.
And so that might be. These are
options that could be
options that can be explored. And government has sold a lot of land in Accra, and Kumasi, and Tamale. So acquiring shouldn't be difficult. That should also be on the table where government will then decide that, okay, this side, how much is it? 50 acres at what cost? This side, how much is it? 30 acres at what cost? Okay. We put it together and negotiate and pay them out so that the factions end. So these are
options.
Some of the options.
Prof, let me bring you in. And Doc was talking about how some of these incidents are affecting our index. And he's referring to the Institute for Economic and Peace, index, which they released recently, which saw Ghana move from 4th in Africa to 7th. So 4th last year, 2024, as far as the peace index was concerned, and now we are 7th. And in fact, this is Ghana's worst performance in more than a decade, after it was ranked 2nd most peaceful country in Africa for both 2021 and 22, and then went to 4th in 23 and 2024, and now we've moved to 7th. All of these pockets of violence are contributing to it. Like Doc said, it's ultimately affects investors. But in the case of the Bunyiri clashes, it's very unfortunate what's happening there. And I'm not sure what your immediate comments are on this one.
Yes, my immediate concern would be how we can bring peace to the place, restore law and order, so that we don't have people losing their lives and their livelihoods. That is the primary concern now. For this index you have mentioned, for me, normally, as someone who plays with numbers a lot, I mostly find indices meaningless. They don't point to any direct thing. It just gives you a general. I've told them, I proved to them why indices, I don't depend on them so much. It's a whole composite thing, and sometimes you don't know which variable to push in order to push the index.
Is it because it does not look good?
I'm saying they are usual statistical exercises, but also since Dixon has And sometimes when I refer to you,
please, that's fine. That's fine, because we're very.
Yes. And he mentioned the issue of this indices, and I'm looking at what is the record, what is the data period. That's the first question you should have asked. Did they collect the data from January to now, or to collect it over last year, before you start blaming this government for the conflicts? I didn't want to go along this line, because for me, the politicization of conflicts are a big problem for me. But since my good brother has started, let me go along that. I've been in this country.
I didn't say the NDC has causes.
No, you said this government. You said this government. So even if you had said the NDC, it would be better than saying this government, which makes me part of it. And since I have joined this government, I can only see efforts to bring peace to this country, genuine ones. The issue with conflicts is that if you go through this country, you realize that the conflicts we are seeing today are artifacts of the misgovernance over 8 years that went into communities, and instead of taking a middle ground and playing a mediatory role, decided to strengthen one group against the other, suppress the feelings of some groups, sometimes indigenous people, in favor of well-to-do and connected people. And if you have these things going on, and there's usually a change, then those who have been suppressed try to express themselves now. And that is why you are seeing an uptick in the conflicts. That it is years of suppression, years of disinterest in finding genuine peace, and then using the state institutions and machineries to deprive people of their rights. And that is why we are seeing the uptick in conflicts. And nobody should think that you can use power to derive people of their language. Sometimes you see them fighting over nothing, but it is their identity, their birthright. And that's why you have these conflicts spiraling and then out of control.
In the case of this Binyiru clash, and I'm sure you're even more familiar with the situation than I am, I mean, it has to do with a parcel of land which we understand belongs to the chief, and the chief, and then a resident whose grandfather owned it. So there's a resident of the community whom the parcel of land belongs to. Apparently, the resident said it belonged to the grandfather. He wanted to extend this building. And the son of the chief said he cannot extend the building because the land belongs to his father, the chief. And just exchange of blows escalated into, physical assault and then killings. And that's where we've ended up here. In this particular case, it doesn't look like someone was oppressed. It's just a case of...
There's just no justification that warrant a conflict and for somebody to lose a life. That is my position. But if you go into this thing, you see the footprints of somebody who has been empowered because of his or her connections against the laid down traditional and institutional processes for disposal of lands or for developing lands. If you go into it, that's what you are going to find. And I'm saying that things like this went out of the roof over the last 8 years. You can even look at the naming of institutions. Things that are supposed to bring unity, bring identities, they were done in such a way that people were protesting. I remember the last time I was on this same network when the king of Dagbon talked about the way Tamale Airport was named. Go to Upper East region, talk about the way C.K. Tedem University was named. Go to Upper West region, talk about the way S.D. Dombo University was named. That consultation, Northern. So all these things tend to alienate national institutions. And I said something here, and the only successful thing the last government did was the completion of Akufo-Addo's statue. That is the only thing they built and completed well. The rest is either sowing conflict or doing it in such a way that you leave the people wondering whether they have come or they have gone. And that is my problem here. For peace to prevail anywhere, the state must be neutral. The state must go in there as someone interested in peace and not as an interested party. And that is what we have failed to do over the last 8 years. And we shouldn't bother try to politicize it now. Everywhere. You go to some districts in the northern Ghana, you've seen that for deliberate reasons, they have decided to take some communities and give them district codes outside their mother districts. Why? If the people don't take time and use due process, like some communities are doing in the Upper East region, they'll pick up arms. And those are the problems.
Yeah, but that's obviously, I mean, regardless of how you feel about certain actions of the government, the best way to react to it cannot be to pick up arms.
Suppression.
And outrightly, that should be condemned. We cannot
Revolt is a function of suppression.
Yeah, but it is.
And
we
once you suppress, people will revolt. But that is what we saw on the 7th December 2024. The suppression, economic suppression, led to a revolt. You cannot talk about peace if you are not seen to be fair, and that is what some people don't want to recognize.
So the 7th December is a much better way of expressing your revolt, isn't it? Go there, you vote the government out, and that's what they did on 7th December. But if we continue to see the conflict happening, you know, Boko crisis, a few weeks ago, it was topical in the news, up and down, and now we are having conflict happening here and there. If the government, which is accused of engaging, stoking some of these conflicts, has been voted out, and your government have come in, maybe you should embrace and do what is necessary to ensure that we have come, instead of you know, doing the blame game again, because it's 8 months in power now.
We have. If we had not put a handle on the issue, the anger of people would have boiled over, and you would have seen worse clashes across this country. I can tell you that for sure. And as I told Dixon the other day, you had his candidate, Bryan Acheampong, blaming Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia for being a Mampurusi and being the reason why they lost elections. You heard it. It was in the news. I'm not the one saying it.
One of the reasons.
Whether it's half a reason or it was a reason, and it's coming out of the horse's own mouth. They're not telling us why the conflict has been festering. So I don't want us to blame government. That it's because of government that you are having conflicts. I'm saying that this is tensions that have been building over the years, and we, no matter the reason, will try to make peace. Because you see, ethnic conflicts are said that once you start them, it takes a very long time to bring back peace. Because someone is thinking of vengeance. I mean, you take, for example, you go and take me out, a very important member of my family. There's no amount of stopping that will, there's no amount of mediation that would kill that anger. There was somebody who would want to pay back. So that is why they mustn't start in the first place. And that is why anyone who is given the mandate to lead must know that ethnic conflicts is a no-go area. Don't go having night meetings with certain factions. Don't go say, okay, this is a chief here, he aligns to us. You are from Tuna, okay, you are now a paramount chief. Okay, this is a chief here. If we want to sell this land, we can do it through him. So we recode some districts under him just because we want to sell them and exploit resources. We have examples of this across this country. Prof,
you see,
let me say, flashpoints. I'm only saying this here so that one day when you hear something, you wouldn't say I haven't said it. There are flashpoints. If we don't do the right thing, we can only bring about conflict. And I'm saying that for peace to prevail, the government must see the people of Ghana as the people of Ghana and play the role as a leader and not a rewarder of people that voted it into power or people that voted for it as against people it perceives did not vote for him. That is the reason the polling is what? The balloting is done in secret so that you can come and be a leader of the people. Over the years, we have seen this deteriorate, and people are still trying to go along that line by saying that, is this government? No. The insecurity we are seeing now is built over time, and we can only together. I wish it gets to a point when it gets to peace, we don't bring in this political analysis. This partisan
just so we wrap up on this conversation.
Move together.
Yeah, just so we wrap up on the conversation. Is it not sometimes difficult to appreciate when, you know, your government take this posturing that now there is conflict, you find it convenient to put the blame on the past government.
No.
But yet, in certain areas like appreciation of the city, performance of the economy, you want to take all the credit. Yet when you see these pockets of conflict, you're quick to make reference to what happened in the past. Why not embrace it and tell the people of this country what it is you're doing, your commitment to ensuring that you sustain the peace in the area? Because, Prof, I mean, you and I know that sometimes even the perception of conflict in that part of the country has affected development in the area, has affected investments in the area. And as much as possible, we need to do better. We need to do better in how we handle the conflicts in those areas. And we've seen the effects of it. And we see even the pressure on you sometimes, the pressure that comes on you to try and fend for people. And I'm sure ultimately that pressure will even increase as people are getting displaced now, because someone will get into your phone to help you, wanting to get your help.
Yeah, and that's why I commend the IGP for moving in there to impose the curfew. All of us must go in there. Those of us that, by the grace of God, are leaders, must take a unified position and condemn the conflict. And I want us to move to a point where we just don't call everything conflict, but then see some things as a criminal in nature, that if somebody deliberately for their personal interest starts a conflict, we should bring peace, but beyond that, deal with them as individuals. It's the only way we can end this cycle. There are some things that, it's just an individual issue. And as I said, it is the historical happenings that usually trigger any small thing. Because the thing is lying there simmering. You just do something small and then it spirals out of control, and then you have this conflict. So that is where I want us to look
still
at it.
On the issue of security, and of course now security in the Acheampong by-election has also become a topical issue, because the police have given the clearest guarantee that they will ensure peace in this by-election. They've had to retrain their personnel, spent weeks retraining their personnel. They've assured that they're going to deploy in excess of 5,000 personnel to the area, and the IGP has taken a no-nonsense posture in that regard. One of the concerns the NPP had was what happened in Ablekuma North, and they said that some individuals who were caught on tape assaulting the officials have not been arrested, and even those who have been arrested have not been charged with any crime. Now, that was a few days ago. The police service released a statement where they, disclosed that some 8 persons have since been arraigned before court and granted bail. They said the accused persons are Mohammed Abubakar, a private security officer. It says that 8 accused persons have been arraigned before the Circuit Court in Accra today. The accused persons are connected with violent incident during the Ablekuma North parliamentary rerun. And it says the accused persons include 1 Mohammed Abubakar, 1 private security officer Tijani Mohammed, 1 Prince Japasu, 1 Anas Mohammed, and they are all 8 in number. And they say that all 8 accused persons pleaded guilty to charges of conspiracy to commit crime, to wit assault and assault contrary to sections of the Criminal Offences Act. They say the case has been adjourned to 29th of August, and each person was granted bail in the sum of 80,000. And they say the Accra Regional Police Command reiterates its commitment to ensuring justice and maintaining peace and order. This was a demand that the NPP made on the police, that they want to see this action taken. Then they can have confidence in the police to ensure peace in the Acheampong by-election. But yesterday, the communications director of NPP spoke and reacted to this. They say they're still not satisfied with the police actions. Very shortly on that press conference they held yesterday on these actions by the police. All right, we can hear from him now.
And intelligence that the NDC intends to hide behind the guise of national security to terrorize some residents and voters in Acheampong and during the by-election. It is instructive to note that the police administration has indicated their deployment of 5,000 service men for the Acheampong by-election, despite the IGP's unequivocal assurance that the Ghana Police Service does not need any military support to maintain law and order. The famous Richard Jakpa, my namesake, who has been appointed as the Director of Operation at the National Security, has been seen perambulating the Acheampong constituency with soldiers and reportedly threatening some indigents and residents to leave town before the by.
So that's Richard Ayamga. So while expressing displeasure with the actions of the police, because they insist that there were more than 8 people who were caught on camera assaulting the officials, and the arrest of the 8 people is not enough, and they want the police to arrest the others before they can have any confidence in them. They also raise concern about Mr. Jakpa, who is a national security operative, who is in Acheampong at the moment with some military men, and the NPP says that any military man they see in Acheampong come September 2, they will treat the person as a thug. And this clearly has heightened the tension ahead of the by-election. Doc, you were nodding your head.
Yes, I was. Let me state here that personally I'm of the opinion that by-elections should be stopped. In the future, I would hope that parties are given the seat. I think it will reduce some of these tensions. And I'm also hoping that there should be more engagements between the police service and the 2 parties. I've seen one meeting just a few days ago here in Accra. There should be another one in Acheampong, and not just one, a few more, to, as it is, tone down the tensions and then profile people who will be coming in and put a caveat or put in some clear restrictions. It should be almost so detailed that wherever any of the high-profile people would go should be known and agreed upon, and in terms of even the time that they'll spend there, so that all of this is carefully managed. If you are at a place to observe for 10 minutes, it's very different from 1 hour or 2 hours, where intel goes out that this is your location. So I really think that it should be that detailed. And I'm hoping to see some drones at work on Tuesday to do aerial surveillance. And then there should be some people who may not be or should not be allowed to be close to any of the perimeters where people are voting. There shouldn't be any voter suppression, which is one of the things that Richard Acheampong just spoke about. We should try as much as possible to allow the people in Acheampong to take a decision. I'm even more troubled by one key thing, which I made mention earlier this year. I think that the lawyer from the NDC is unethical in the sense that there's a conflict of interest where you go in to represent an individual and then you end up taking the individual's position.
But there was an open primary.
No, my point here is that many lawyers in this country sometimes end up taking their client's land. There's a known issue in this country. I have a divorce case. Me and my wife are trying to maybe patch it up. Lawyer comes in and the next thing I know, he's marrying my wife. These are issues. And there are many people going through this kind of pain.
I think it was unfair on the part of the candidates for the lawyer to have contested in the primaries.
He should have waited for another 4 years, because I think that he's using privileged knowledge and he's used it against his own client and his own professional. So the Bar Association certainly needs to look at this. I am troubled by the timing. I mean, you are the one representing the guy, telling the whole world that the guy won the 2024 election. What changed? How did you then fast track and then decide that, oh, you know what, my client is not fit for purpose, so I have to run this election. I mean,
but the
it
party
is so
did not
wrong.
put any limits on who can contest, so it was open to everybody.
You should recuse yourself. There's a reason why judges recuse themselves from certain cases. And I think that it is so unprofessional and unethical for my lawyer to then run against me in an election.
But he did his job as a lawyer in the court for you.
Listen,
then there was elections.
Now I have every right.
Different portfolios.
Now I have every right to question how the representation went. It tells me that you had a motive of serving me wrong, so that you win, or making my case bad, so that I get into this situation. So, if for anything, if this man is representing your former MP this way, I mean, I can almost guarantee Acheampong that if he becomes your representative, he won't deal well with them. I can almost guarantee, based on his actions, not based on his words. And I feel strongly that the former member of parliament whose lawyer has literally duped him, whose lawyer has backstabbed him, whose lawyer has done something that is more like a conflict of interest, should not take this lightly. He should take him to court.
For the candidates, though, if you so much had confidence that you won, number one, you so much had confidence that the people support you, it shouldn't have been difficult reclaiming the ticket to represent the party.
He's expended his forces for this election. He's expended it. And listen, let's not joke about the quantum of monies you have to use for election. The current midterm elections in the Americas, they're talking about how much the Republicans are raising. They're talking about how low the Democrats are raising money.
Yeah.
So even in 400 years of democracy, they are still talking about money involved in politicking. So the former member of parliament is very likely going through NDC primaries and going through the general election. He's expended his forces. And that made him literally disadvantaged for this battle. The lawyer should have stood by his client. Even in primaries, that would have shown a true commitment and a true loyally ethical behavior. I'm very much scandalized by this man who represented a former MP and has backstabbed him. And that should be headline news.
But more concerning also is the posturing of your party in this election. Despite the assurance.
We are grieving. We've lost a member of parliament suddenly.
No, but in the case of
cardiac-related
the police have assured 5,000 people, and you still insist that you go there and protect yourself. You go there with your own security men.
Let me commensurate, or as it is, let me share my condolence with the family of the dearly departed.
Afterthought,
because it's a painful thing, and I think Friday will be the 1 week for our former member of parliament.
And that's quite interesting. You do the 1 week on Friday, the elections on Tuesday.
1 week, no, this has nothing to do with the Tuesday elections. But either way, traditionally, in the Akan sector, we do 1 week when you are gone to make way and make arrangements for your burial. And the family is not very comfortable rushing the burial of the late former MP. They want to do a befitting funeral for him. And let me also add that it's tragic. This and the 8 we lost this month. Very tragic.
I've seen posters of your candidates. I've seen the posters they've done. His image is there. You've got Ernest Kumi image here. And people feel you have been insensitive.
No, they want to portray the party. People knew Ernest Kumi. So they want to portray and make people aware that it is the same.
He's not out there campaigning for himself. He doesn't even speak to anyone.
This man is representing Ernest Kumi on the ballot. So that is what we're communicating.
Prof, let me bring you in now.
But it's a very painful thing.
Yeah.
I mean, both ways. One, the demise of the MP who was taken to court by this same lawyer. Let me even add that. Because this is a lawyer who was pushing NSM all over. Koforidua every time. That's the same lawyer. So he's benefited from two sad things. You know, one, the death, and then second, backstabbing his own client. And I want the Bar Association to look into this. I want to hear from them.
You know,
Prof.
Before I come to this one, because Dixon made this statement somewhere, and I thought he was joking. He's repeated it. I'll address it, but let me first of all get to the issue of the security in Equatia. And I can commend the IGP for being proactive and stationing enough men in Equatia to ensure that the outcome of the elections reflect the will of the people of Equatia. That is in one breath. Richard Jakwa is a national security operative. And anywhere there's an election, there is a lot of intelligence that can both benefit the election and the nation as a whole. And he's entitled to go in there with security and with whatever security component he deems fit. As for what Richard Acheampong is saying, it's up to him. One of my young men will normally say that if you are passing by a barracks and you take a stone and you throw inside the barracks, you should expect what will come out of it. So he's saying that if they see a military man, they'll treat the military man as a thug. But it's up to him. If they treat the soldier as a thug, they should know what will come at them.
Why would the military man be at the by-election? It's been stated that the election...
National security operatives is...
military men at any election.
It's an interplay of various segments of the security apparatus.
Why would there be any at Equatia?
I'm saying that if Richard Jakwa feels that... Are there not national military men in the national security apparatus? They are.
But so should they do the job? The police are well equipped to do this.
Should he sack all soldiers in the national security setup because you don't want to see military?
Why don't you allow the police?
Why all of a sudden the NPP are afraid of military?
Voter suppression.
But the police, 6,000 police personnel.
All of a
why
sudden?
Do you need extra?
You as
the elected commissioner. The elected commissioner under your leadership was being protected by military men, the one who oversees elections.
But that was
you people remove policemen and put soldiers. Who is more important? He is the returning officer nationally.
So is it that you don't have confidence in the police to do their job?
No, I'm saying that they don't have confidence in the police.
You're making an argument.
They don't have confidence in the police. We have 5 policemen there. What he's saying is that if Richard Jakwa goes in there to do his intelligence gathering and there's a soldier in his setup, you will treat that soldier as a thug. And I'm saying that you know what to expect if we treat a soldier as a thug. That's all I'm saying.
Firstly, the question is, why do you need a military man there?
So should we sack all military men in the national security apparatus? Because
they do their job.
They are not going there to interfere. They are going there to gather their intelligence. They are going there to protect this nation, and they are entitled to do their work. If you want to treat them as thugs, you will know what will come at you. Because some of these empty threats, I don't want us to sit here and glorify them.
Prof, you have a nice suit. I think to be fair, the two parties need to know in detail. For security reasons.
I'm saying
if national security is coming,
I'm saying that
the number.
No. You can't compromise national security. Revealing who is in national security is compromising
the number.
And all I'm saying is that Richard Jakwa is entitled to go into that place with whosoever is in the national security apparatus that he thinks is necessary for him to do his work. That is all. They are not going there to disturb peace. If you want, treat them as thugs, you know what will come at you if you do that. Period.
But
if
he talks about heightening the tension.
Why is he heightening the tension?
I mean, when you have military men, first of all, you have 5,000 police personnel. That has also been questioned about why do you have so many.
So you think that
then you have national security, then you have military men.
10 military men can overpower all the 5,000 policemen in the place there. Come on, let's be.
The opposition
but let me put this one aside.
You are trying to.
Let me put this one aside.
Voter suppression.
You see, when I came in here and I took office, I wanted to go back, move away from the days when my late friend, of course, Mutala and I used to do radio and other things. But Dixon and Co, they are fast taking me there. You see, your candidate, Bryan Acheampong, I am coming. I'm just going to build your case up for you. Paid money. And he said it, that he was distributing $1,500 to delegates for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, supporting him. Today, he is contesting him. If the breadth in which you are condemning the NDC candidate in Akwetia should hold, then Dr. Bryan Acheampong is backstabbing Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Period. Yes. By your own standard. No, it's not his own. He was his financier. He was in there bribing people for him. And he's now saying that he was the chief briber of the delegates that voted for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He's bribing. He's bribing. He said he gave them $1,500. Is that not bribery? That was vote buying. And he's telling people that he's saying that I was the one buying votes for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I paid you delegates here. The money we used in bribing, I gave it to you. And he's contesting him now. Is that not the same breath that you are?
No. But Doc, you have a lawyer who was making a strong case for the candidate. I'm saying not on the case that he should be voted, but on the case that he indeed won the elections.
He did won the elections. He was in court.
He has the opportunity.
This lawyer you are talking about is the secretary of the constituency. True.
What?
So it's a politician, all right. It's someone who probably might have withdrawn from the polls severally without saying it. Secondly, this was an open contest. The election in which the former member of parliament lost is done and dusted. There is a new elections. And he said, because I have a relationship with you, I shouldn't be interested in contesting.
Lawyer-client.
He offered his services, not his ambition, and not his life plan. That was what on the offer. He offered his services as a lawyer, not his political ambition, not his desire to become a leader, not his desire to serve his people. Unethical. So what you are talking about here is you should be worried about a candidate that you have selected and you are hiding, who is running away from media, can't even grant one interview, and then you are here talking about someone who is
somebody like
Prof, don't you think it will be challenging for the NDC, this candidate, because I heard Baba Jamal speak on a different media platform, and he was raising quite a number of concerns about the dynamics in Akwetia and even the candidates that the NDC have paraded. You have a candidate, as Doc says, who was helping your candidate to reclaim his seats. A by-election has...
That election is gone, done and done.
It's gone and done and done. Done and dusted.
It's over.
But now,
so he is prevented from ever contesting anything with that his former client.
Have you gotten, is the former candidate, is he out there campaigning for his lawyer?
That is up to him to decide. It's not a matter of him being
out there. That's a very difficult question. Please,
I definitely know if there's anything the NDC is good at doing. We don't take our internal politics overboard like we have here. We have a healthy contest, and when it's over, done and dusted, we know how to...
Well, some say when you look at the party officials who have stormed Akwetia, it seems to say the grounds are hard. I mean, Mustafa Gbande has been there for a while.
Every election, every by-election, even under certain circumstances, the sitting president would have even gone there. Is the reason why the NDC is in the position it is today, that we go in there out of respect for the constituents, the people. We won't say, oh, this is a by-elections, let's just send anyone there. I won't be surprised if the president had gone there, because that is how we have approached elections. We go in every constituency, treating them as our clients, telling them our vision, and then giving them the respect they deserve. And that's why they return our effort with massive endorsement.
The chief of staff was there this week.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
And he went to meet the chief. And interestingly, there was an interesting appeal he made to the chief. He told the chief to select some officials to visit the Jubilee House and come present what their needs are so the government can meet them. And one was wondering, is it because it was a by-election, that's why you went there to tell them? No, it's not a by-election.
If you go and you meet chiefs always, that's what happens anytime government delegations meet chiefs. There's a lot that go on. They sometimes ask for the opportunity to visit. And the chief of staff is only saying that I have come, fed you. If you want to make a visit to the presidency, I'm happy to welcome you.
They are doing this because there's a by-election.
No. It's because he visited there. And the by-election is an event. It provides the opportunity for people to visit places and to talk. Events provide opportunity for people to discuss things, and that's what they
you
were
had
doing.
a mandate in the 2024 election to develop the country.
And which
Why
we are
then
doing.
you have
Which
to
we are doing.
go tell the
which
people
we are
that
doing.
that
Which
come?
we are doing. But if there is the opportunity for emphasis, we do. If there is the opportunity for you to move from a national discourse to a more focused discourse, we do. So you can't say that because we are developing the whole country and we go to Equatia, we can't talk about the nitty-gritties of the development challenges of Equatia. No.
And that looks like a subtle...
No, it's not subtle. It's an opportunity.
Venture.
No. It's not a vote-buying venture. It is an opportunity to say that we have a national plan, but Equatia within the national framework of development has particular needs that this election opportunity allows us to focus on. And that is what we are doing.
Isn't that what we've seen in every by-election? That is
No.
The government starts a road. There's a by-election.
How many roads are we building in Equatia now? Unlike,
I'm just
saying it's a by-election.
But you make the point about
it's
the fact that the by-election has offered an opportunity.
We are saying that, you see, this discussion, right? We don't need to belabor it. It's straightforward. The people of Equatia are going in there thinking of what to do with their poll. If they get up and go and queue from morning to evening to vote for someone who will come and join the chaos we have in the minority, I've told them they should do. If they want to vote for someone who can get up and say, let me pick a development challenge of Equatia, take it to Parliament, take it to the minister, and take it to the president and say, do this for me, it's up to them.
There are no guarantees.
There are guarantees. Because instead of your members of parliament actually building bridges and working with their colleagues in parliament and working with government to bring development, you are busy working out, busy demonstrating, busy... in fact, you are...
Parliament is on recess.
Yes, they are on recess, but
my key point is that the way this lawyer represented his client, he will be a very bad representative of the people.
I'm saying...
And by virtue of his behavior...
That election is done and
I judge people by their character.
That election is done and dusted, and there is a new election.
There should have been 4 years wait for him. I mean, that would have been
under which constitution? The Ghana Bar Association?
I think that they should look
Ghana Bar Association Code of Conduct.
Too many lawyers.
I'm saying that your own Bryan Acheampong was the one funding Dr. Bawumia. Today he's contesting him.
Talking about Dr. Bryan Acheampong leads us to the NPP flag bearer race. As we mentioned, Kwabena Japan has filed his nominations. Likewise, Kennedy Japan and Bryan Acheampong was the latest to do so. As at 4 p.m. yesterday, it was quite a rally. We have excerpts of what Ken Japan said after he filed his nomination, and that of Dr. Bryan Acheampong. Let's listen to them. Later today, Dr. Bawumia and Dr. Iduchum will file this. But this was Ken and Dr. Bryan said.
Yes, are looking for a businessman to create jobs for the youth of this country. Chobon, we are no more going to listen to rhetorics. We want somebody who can create businesses for the youth of this country. I always say that any human being without a job has no life. Do you want life? Do you want life? Then vote for Kennedy Japan for life.
To prosperity. The NPP has a job to do in government. I shall win power and continue with that job. I shall focus on jobs, food security, and infrastructure. For security, you know that's my turf. Today, having now submitted my form to run as flag bearer of the NPP, it effectively means that I have submitted my declaration for unity, for a disciplined campaign. Thus, my supporters, north to south, east to west, must shy away from comments and commentary that smears individuals and ultimately affects the...
So that was Dr. Bryan Acheampong and Honorable Kennedy Japan speaking after they filed their nominations. But yesterday, it wasn't just them. Then you had Engineer Francis Adainimo also released a statement where he accused the party of bias. In fact, a set of his statement I have here says that, on quote, inappropriate political timing. Part of the reason why he's decided to withdraw from the elections, he says inappropriate political timing for the conduct of the presidential primaries, which is January 31st. Then he says the top-down approach to internal party contest, which has been severely criticized by many stalwarts, including myself. Then 3, he says the seeming inclination and bias of party executive towards one candidate. And 4, he says the unreasonable and unhealthy monetization of our internal politics as evident in the astronomical amount of 4,600,000 Ghana cedis being demanded from each aspirant. 4.6 million Ghana cedis is what Adainimo says every aspirant has to give the party as part of the filing process and the obligations. He says these factors, he believes, undermine the foundations of internal democratic culture and place unethical emphasis on money rather than the competence and winnability of the candidate. And based on this, he says he's withdrawing from the contest. That's Adainimo. But 3 others have gone ahead to pay the 4.6 million. Today, Dr. Bawumia and Dr. Iduchum will also pay their 4.6 million, and then the contest will flow. Doc, you were happy about Dr. Bryan Acheampong's, presentation and all of that. I mean, to be fair, aesthetically, it looks decent. It looks decent.
Well, thank you. And let me admit that I was wowed when I saw his outfit. It's nice.
Were you there yesterday yourself?
I was there, 100%.
So you saw it before he even appeared here, didn't you?
Oh, yes. And let me say that there's been a monumental shift in the NPP's history as of yesterday. I was reflecting how a young man who worked under Jacob Ichibilamte has now gone through the ranks and now filed as a flag bearer for this party, to contest. And I was deeply touched by that, to just, wonder what Jake Obichebelamte is thinking about in his grave. Somebody he taught, tutelaged, who studied under him, has risen through the ranks. But be it as it may, I think that I was also very excited for the youth. I think that this adds some new energy and motivates the youth of the party and the grassroots to have hope that there's a new dawn, and we have been offered an alternative to the 2 that we saw in the last primaries. I think that Dr. Bryan Acheampong presents to all of us the missing link. People were asking, for more. They had seen, the excessive promises of, before, and we've now brought them something very practical and doable. And I think that Dr. Bryan Acheampong, based on his experience, and what he's been able to do successfully in private and in politics makes him very well qualified and more likable to be someone who can win us power.
But the concerns about the monetization of the process, Adainimo reveals that 4.6 million Ghana cedis is what each candidate have had to cough up. That's a lot of money. Are you not concerned about all this money that has been expended?
Earlier when I was explaining to you that even in the Americas, the Republicans are raising heavy money and the Democrats are struggling. Politics is not being monetized. I think the exercise is expensive. And let me add that politicking ensures peace, and peace is expensive. And I say this with the greatest of respect to the many who do not appreciate the cost involved in running a political party. And I think that this has largely arisen to the need to, as it is, find a way of raising funds for the operation of the day-to-day activities of the party. And let me also add that, it puts your skin in the game. Okay, and what it means is that you become a very powerful stakeholder in the party, and it makes your representation very important. It also shows how supportive and capable you are to help with party affairs when the need arises.
What about, instead of burdening the candidates this way, why don't you strengthen your monthly collections, or what is weekly collections that you do among the entire party base? Because if you have, say, about 4 million party followers, and you are taking, even it is 1 Ghana cedis each week from each person, you can see how much you accrue. Instead of burdening one candidate, like Adainimo says, 4.6 million, it seems that, and this kind of cost clearly denies other people who might legitimately have potential to lead the party in the elections.
Well, you have a good point there. However, I think that, yes, the quantum, I haven't actually confirmed the 4.6. I know of the 6. That is what is confirmed in the media domain. However, if it is truly 4.6 million, I must admit, is a hefty amount compared to the last primaries.
They said the 4 million is development fee.
And that's what I'm saying, that compared to the last primaries, it's a hefty amount. Granted, I know the depth of debt the party has, and this is a very strategic way of raising funds. And I've always been more interested in having a party that is very independent based on the revenues it has, to be able to, as it is, make some shots or make some very powerful calls. So we're very hopeful. I think that this literally will improve on the party's work in moving forward.
Yeah, I think even leading up to the elections and organization.
Absolutely. And even, let me add that the operations of the elections are costly.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to settle the EC, a host of things that have to be done to make sure that the integrity of the internal politics is held.
Prof, quick thoughts on this, then we can wrap up. I'll just read some messages and wrap up. Quite a number of messages.
Classic NPP is a money show, and pity Adainimo that with his good ambitions and whatever good plan he has to shelve it because of the monetization and the monocracy approaches of the new patriotic party.
He should join us.
So that is rather unfortunate. I told Dixon the other time that I'm enjoying this free show in the NPP, but you see, it's troubling. These 4 that are remaining also, you can call them the dirty 4. Dirty in the, like the movie Dirty Dozen. And these are prime beneficiaries of the misgovernance over the last 80 years, flaunting their loot about. I'm following their primaries, and the only thing I can take away is that I paid this, I paid that, I distributed this money, I distributed this, that, and I'm not seeing. These are people who have deprived youth of jobs more than any other person, because the grabbing of contracts and not delivering them, and eventually depriving young people of the jobs. There are no key actors in these activities than Dr. Bryan Acheampong, Dr. Kennedy Agyapong, and as for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, he was in every aspect of
government. President John Mahama says he's going to ensure fiscal discipline, especially come election year. He's not going to expend state resources on your party. You have yours in waiting.
We have a mandate to develop this country, and we are going to expend the state resources in developing this country. And if in so doing, the people of Ghana
will need money to run the elections, then your candidates who show their faces will obviously have to.
That's why I'm saying that we are going to run this country in such a way that our candidates won't have to spend to get the confidence of the people. That's all I'm saying. And I'm saying that for the people.
But will you be surprised if your party makes such a demand on your candidates when the time comes up?
Usually, you see, you have such a demand put in place if you have the field, people not taking the process seriously. And then everybody wants to come in and then run. Sometimes you see that the filing fee is just to make sure that people don't just come in to show their face and go. But what we are seeing now is at the other side of
so you'll be surprised if
I think that is quite outrageous to have that fee demanded of the people. You see that not many people have come. And in effect, what they have done is actually drive all the serious alternatives and then brought these people that Ghana have seen. All of them. If it is people you don't have anything to learn about, is these four. We have seen what they can do in government and outside of government. I don't think they offer Ghanaians any sense of optimism.
All right, let's see.
That is the problem.
Let's see what our viewers have been saying. This one,
I wanted to just say two key points that I had here. Bryan Acheampong is a strong leader, and he's a very good deal maker. And then the last thing is that I think that he's a candidate that can save the NPP minority in 2028 by bumping up the number of seats that we win.
Interesting. This is Meshach Asante Atamasaman. It says the Ayawaso West Wagon violence incidents is continuously giving NPP sleepless night. They think the same thing will happen in Akwatia as a revenge. But let me tell them that President Mahama is not vindictive like Nanado, so they should be rest assured that Akwatia by-election will be free, fair, transparent, and violent-free, but they should comport themselves, because if they misbehave, they regret the day they were born.
Meshach, where's Abednego? Ask him where Abednego is.
They will regret the day they were born. Wow. All right, let's see whether we can get some... this is Dusty Man from Brekum. He says, I'm so surprised there's no peace in some places in Ghana today. Even we, the foot soldiers, would make his politicking it. So who is he advising?
Me this phone for a while.
Al Hassan Sese from Zenu Central said, good evening. This is not Class FM. Okay, anyway. Ayamga has just exposed what they did when they were in power. This is what the NPP used the military in Techima North, ending up killing innocent Ghanaians in 2020 and Ayawaso West Wagon election. Interesting. This one says, IGP is doing his work and he's not doing it to please NPP, but he's doing it to please Ghanaians. NPP have no moral rights to dictate to the police. Howard Kumsin was on wanted list of Kasua police for 8 years for firing firearms indiscriminately. Ayawaso Wagon violence report. Ghanaians have to move on without complaining. Azugu, Bryan and Suleimana Dobo are still on the loose. NPP didn't contest Ablikma election. What was Howard Kumsin doing there? All right. This is Alhaji from Pig Farm. Says, good morning. Please ask Mr. Kisi whether it is proper for Bryan Acheampong to contest Dr. Bawumia in the race. If yes, then what is wrong if the lawyer decides to contest the former parliamentary candidate? Don't forget the lawyer was the constituency secretary. Mr. Kisi and members of NPP should stop throwing dust in our eyes. Okay. Well, NPP's internal contest will soon decide, will soon subside, and the party will reunite with vigor, unity, and determination to reclaim power in 2028 under the leadership of Dr. Bryan Acheampong. Recently, Ghana mourned the loss of gallant men in state service due to illegal mining. Now, the NDC has swiftly forgotten the sorrow and struggles of these people of Akwatia while attempting to intimidate them. However, discerning individuals will ensure a massive victory for Solomon to retain the seat for the NPP. May Honorable Ernest Kumi rest in peace. Okay, so I think that will be our last but one message. This one is from Gariba in Tamale. It says, it's unfortunate some of our NPP flag bearers contestants are out there to destroy the party, and it is a deliberate plan to downplay Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's impact in the party over the years. It is only wickedness and self-seeking individuals who had planned to destroy another flag bearer with the mere fact that the person is coming from a certain geographical area. He says, among the NPP flag bearer contestant, who is more competent than Dr. Bawumia, who is more appealing to Ghanaian voters than Dr. Bawumia, who is more humble than Dr. Bawumia, who has worked harder than Bawumia for the party to recapture power in 2016. We shouldn't allow selfish individuals destroy the NPP. However, the NDC should be ashamed for politicizing land disputes in Ghana, especially the Boko conflict. The truth shall make Alhaji Dr. Bawumia the next president of Ghana. Interesting. So those are some messages, and we have to call it a day on the show today. Doc, We are done. Yeah, last words, then we just wrap up.
I think
I'm sure it's going to be Bryan
Acheampong will put NDC on the defense. And the key point here is that he's a candidate that can help us bump our numbers in 2028. And that's very important for me as a former parliamentarian. And in Akwatia, I'm hoping to maybe visit Akwatia tomorrow in solidarity and to, as it is, grieve with the family of the dearly departed. And I'll let you know if I'm able to do it. Yeah.
All right, Prof.
Yes, I would like to urge for peace and let cool heads prevail in Gbenyiri. Let's know that we are already a group of people that have suffered historical injustice, and the development gap between the north and south is there. We cannot at every slightest opportunity be visiting violence on our own. And I would like to call on all, regardless of the pain, to see your brother, see everyone as a sister, and let this issue of conflict go so that we can see how we make the future better for our children. Yeah.